In observing the whole Trump situation, I came to a new observation. Trump is representing a very disempowered state of mind, victim consciousness. He is continuously blaming others for the incredible frickin' mess that he is finding himself in.
Yeah, he's not showing much leadership, which is taking responsibility for the world. You know, he's basically just pointing fingers everywhere. Not very presidential.
He's not much of a mensch.
No. Well, shit, we can't depend on the government to get it together for us because the government is headed up by an incompetent person. It's up to the people to find a way forward. So, in a way, it's going to be a test for true democracy. Yeah. I mean, if Washington can't provide leadership, then the states, the individual states and their governors will step forward to provide that leadership. Business will step forward to provide leadership. Ordinary people will take it upon themselves to become leaders in their communities because obviously they're not going to get leadership from the top down. It's going to have to come from the bottom up. He doesn't have strength of character. He just has bluster. You know, he's what's called a blowhard. You know, it's really hot air. There's nothing there. You know, you puncture that balloon and a great example of how not to behave. Who not to be. What you don't want in your leadership, you know. You know, the Americans elected a jellyfish as president. You know, he has no backbone. You know, he's got nothing inside him that's firm. You know what I mean? There's nothing solid there. Hi guys, I need to put some food up for these guys. You had the appetizer, where's the main course? Unfortunately, because of who he is, Trump has no one to fall back on. The level of incompetency runs right, you know, is endless in his inner circle, right? There's no way he couldn't bring anybody into his inner circle that would in any way compete with him. So they all have to be basically servants, a servant mentality, not independent thinkers. They have to reflect exactly back to Trump what he wants to do. So there's nobody that can kind of pick up the pieces inside the Oval Office and create a semblance of a presidency. So, you know, it's just going to be one kerfuffle, one.
Well, and
one
like what he did
after
yesterday.
After another.
You know, I'll tell you what he did yesterday when he was again, like, why do you stay stuck on that about how many votes he got and how many whatever and how it was the biggest since Reagan, blah, blah, blah. And then he was called out on it. You know, like, hello, these are Googleable numbers. What the frick? You know, why do you keep...
Any school child, anybody in the third grade can determine whether this is a verifiable fact or not.
So he was called on it, and what did he do? He said, these numbers were handed to me, blaming his own staff.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a unbelievable, stupid strategy is that? That's stupidity.
I know, but it's very consistent. I mean, you gotta hand it to Trump. He's totally consistent. He hasn't changed one iota since he first showed up in the public eye, which was decades ago, right? He's exactly the same guy. What you see is what you get. There's no surprises here. There shouldn't be any surprises. I mean, nobody should be the least bit surprised at what's transpiring because that's who he is. You know, that's who he's always been. He's never been any different.
Donald Trump is representing, you know, maybe not the biggest...
Electoral victory in modern times.
Maybe not the biggest, but whatever. It's still a considerable amount of people bought into his stuff. Basically are saying, I am in vibrational resonance with this man.
Yeah.
And that is really what needs to be addressed.
Oh, yes, yeah, it's the, it's 100 million Americans that feel exactly like Donald Trump. They feel separated, they feel alone, they feel abandoned, they feel vulnerable, they're afraid, they're unsure, they're crying, it's a cry for help. Please, will somebody rescue me? There's a Beatles song, help, help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody, I need somebody now. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now I'm older and I'm not so self-assured. Now I can't remember the words. Help me if you can, I'm feeling sad. And I sure appreciate your being round. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? Help me, help me.
So there's a lot of Americans that need help rather than ridicule or resistance or attack. They need help. So who's going to step up to the plate? I have a few people in mind. Cesar Millan is one. Somebody needs to, go in and make this pack a balanced pack again.
Yeah.
What would Cesar Millan see if he looks at Trump?
Territorial, insecure.
And Cesar Millan would disagree with that energy, wouldn't
Yes.
he?
Yeah.
He would touch.
He would. Yep. He'd give a bite. But out of love.
In order to bring this dog back to balance, Cesar Millan, if you could energetically just touch and snap this guy out of it. He needs to be snapped out of it.
Yeah.